Afternoon. Welcome back to our Visionary Business Leaders Masterclass. As you can see, John Anderson and myself are having a fireside chat. And one of the things that often comes up, not only with existing Visionary Business Leaders members, but also with our own clients and customers and people we see, is that everybody's striving to really, to do well in their business, to really achieve their goals and outcomes. But quite often people have areas in their life which create sabotage. These are the hidden areas. And I'd like to speak a little bit to John about this because obviously, with some of the people he's worked with, he's noticed patterns. But, John, how about just sharing with us a little snapshot about some of the key sabotages that you notice in people you've worked with and how we as visionary business leaders can overcome that and actually go to a new level?
Absolutely. Look, we've all got sabotages, internal saboteurs that hold us back from reaching our goals and realising our full potential. And, a really good example of that is I was in a seminar recently and there was a woman that's trained to do a certain profession, and yet instead of doing it, she spends hours and hours and hours talking about it, reading about it, and sort of asking people questions about it. However, when you just give her practical advice on what she needs to do to actually be doing her profession, that is, having a client, getting money from that client, all of a sudden she sort of shuts down. So all of that questioning is just a smokescreen for some fear of actually stepping out there and doing it. And there might at this very moment be a next step for you to take. It might be contacting a JV partner. It might be making a sales call. It might be launching out a new product or service. It might be learning how to market. And yet there's some voice inside you that says, no, it's too hard, or I can't do that, or I'll do it later, or I'll go and buy some paper clips. Whatever it is, these sub-personalities will have ingenious ways of taking you away from what's really important to you. And if you let them, you will go to your grave without getting those things done. So it's vitally important that you become aware of them. That is, noticing them in their little games, watching that internal dialogue so you can see when it's taking you off course, and then choosing to take action towards what's important to you.
John, it all sounds quite easy because we all have these patterns. I know I've had them in the past. I've seen clients with them. When we're actually focused on certain goals and outcomes and all of a sudden we find ourselves procrastinating or avoiding getting on the phone and ringing that next client or making that connection. But what can people do practically? What are some of the things we can do to actually identify those sub-personalities or voices? And then how can we actually use that and create some change in our lives? What are some of the things you've used?
Well, look, when we first ran the Visionary Business Leaders Seminar, I was pretty scared and I actually got quite sick, and that could have even been part of my sub-personalities resisting me taking the next step in my own journey. But I got quite sick and I felt all this fear, and I thought, it wasn't going to work out. Nothing was working out for me, and I had this sort of fantasy story that I may as well just give up and just lie on the couch and be sick. But I also had the coaching of being aware of my sub-personalities and going beyond it and taking action anyway. And what I'd do was I would go, you know what, I'm just going to take one action towards my goal. I'll just contact one JV partner. I'll just send one email out. And once I did one, it was easy to do another and another. But taking action in the face of those sub-personalities is a great way, because even though it's good to have a sort of relaxed and comfortable life, unless you constantly stretch your boundaries of what's comfortable by taking action even when you're scared, you'll never succeed really, and also you'll never grow as a human being because your comfort zone will always stay this small as opposed to expanding exponentially. So you've really got to feel that fear, notice what the sub-personalities are doing, but keep taking action towards your goal anyway. And I invite you now to actually think about something that you're stopped in and imagine taking action towards it, or go to take action towards it and just notice what sub-personalities come right up. What do they say to you? What sort of games do they play? Because once you become aware of them, you'll have a lot more power over them.
Fantastic. Thank you, John. And you know, it's amazing that once you really do start to become aware of what's happening and what's happening in the background for you, you can actually start to change it. But as John mentioned, the important thing is to stay in flow, keep taking action, because as long as you're moving, at least you're moving somewhere.
Exactly.
You know, it's better than sitting on the fence, because sitting on the fence is going to give you splinters. So that's great advice, John. Thank you for that snapshot on conquering your saboteurs. As you know, we even do some workshops and some energetic coaching on these sort of things. So if that's something that's of interest to you, give us a call and let us know, and then we can actually maybe do that with you. Thank you very much once again, John.